Chapter 11. The Birth of the Winter Wraith. Aelira's scream tore upward like a blade of light through the cavern. For a moment, Rheon could not see her, only the storm erupting from her body, shards of frost, ribbons of pale flame, spirals of white fire twisting through the darkness like the veins of a dying star. He forced himself toward her. Every step cut him. The air had become a cage of knives. Frost sliced across his arms, his cheeks, his throat. Blood hissed as it struck the frozen floor. But he kept moving. "Aelira," he shouted, voice cracking. The storm thinned just enough for him to see her. She hovered above the ice, back arched, arms outstretched, her hair lifting like silver smoke. Her eyes were wide, glowing, too bright, too empty. The wings of ice on her back had grown, jagged, crystalline, beating slowly like the dying pulse of a monstrous heart. And on her chest, the second heartbeat hammered. Boom, boom, boom. Each pulse distorted the air around her. "Rheon," she whispered between gasps. "I can't hold it." Her voice fractured, then something inside her broke. A sound, not metal, not bone, not magic, but something deeper, like the cracking of the first glacier at the beginning of time. The frozen king lifted his head. "The winter wraith awakens." Rheon spat blood onto the ice. "Shut your damned mouth," he charged. The king moved with the indifference of a god. His claw lashed outward. Rheon barely blocked it. The shock split his sword in two. Shards of metal flew across the cavern. Rheon staggered back, panting. The king's voice boomed, "You cannot stop a transformation written before your lineage existed." Rheon didn't respond. He couldn't. He was staring at Aelira. Her arms trembled violently. Her fingers elongated, thin frost-forming claws. Her skin fractured with glowing blue lines, like cracks in porcelain revealing the light beneath. Her mouth opened. A cry built inside her, but the sound that escaped was not human. It was the birth cry of winter itself. Rheon stumbled backward. A primal terror seized him, not fear of Aelira, but fear of losing her to something beyond him. "No," he whispered, "not like this, not to him." The frozen king extended his claws toward her, as though commanding a puppet. "Rise, my successor." Aelira's body jerked violently. Her wings spread wide, 1,000 crystalline joints snapping into place. Light burst from her back, shooting upward like the spines of a frozen beast. She screamed again, and this time, her voice split into two tones. One hers, one belonging to something ancient. Rheon's heart clenched. "Aelira, fight it, fight him." For a moment, the storm around her flickered. Her eyes wavered. A thin tear, warm, fell down her cheek. "Rheon," her voice returned, fragile. "Help me?" The frozen king snarled. A wave of black frost erupted from him, sweeping across the cavern. Rheon was thrown backward, slamming into the stone wall. His spine screamed. His lungs emptied. Darkness crept at the edges of his vision. "Get up," he rasped to himself. "Get up, she needs you." Aelira was convulsing again. Her legs twisted into sharp arcs of frost. Her ribs expanded, cracking her silhouette into something less human. Her shadow warped, stretching across the floor like the shadow of a creature towering hundreds of feet tall. The frozen king raised his hands. "Become winter." Aelira's body thrashed. "No," she screamed, voice tearing. "I will not be your weapon." Her wings slammed outward, shattering nearby stone pillars. Fragments whirled like meteors of ice. Rheon rolled aside as one crashed into the floor where he had been. He grabbed the broken half of his sword, gripping it like a dagger. "Aelira," he shouted. Her head snapped toward him. Her eyes, one silver, one blue, glowed with pain, rage, and a monstrous hunger. Rheon didn't flinch. "You are not his. Do you hear me? You are not his." The frozen king stepped between them. "She is not yours either." Rheon roared, lunging with everything he had left. He drove the broken blade into the king's chest, the tip scraping against the ancient armor of frost. It didn't pierce, but it cracked. Just a hairline fracture. The king backhanded Rheon. He flew across the cavern, skidding across the ice, coughing blood. Aelira screamed at the sight of him falling. Her wings snapped inward like claws clutching her chest. "Rheon, Rheon." Her voice wavered, human again for a breath. The Frost King turned. "Your heart wavers. Good. Pain accelerates the transformation." Aelira's second heartbeat thundered. Her body shuddered. Her wings rose. And she, Aelira, the woman Rheon crossed mountains to find, the woman cursed to kill what she loves, stood at the edge between salvation and becoming a god of extinction. Rheon forced himself to stand on trembling legs. "Aelira," his voice broke, "I'm not afraid of you." Her eyes widened. "I never will be." Her chest convulsed. The curse writhed inside her like a beast trying to break free. Her wings spread, ice shrieking. Her scream tore the cavern in half. She launched forward, straight toward Rheon. Not in love, not in hate, but because the curse had chosen its first victim. And it had chosen him. Chapter 12. The Blade of Winter, the Heart of Man. Aelira struck, not like a person, like a calamity given flesh. She descended upon Rheon with wings carved from the bones of winter light. Frost fire spiraled around her arms, her fingers lengthening into claws of pale crystal. The sound she unleashed, half scream, half ancient cry, split the cavern into echoes. Rheon barely raised the broken sword in time. Her claws met steel, a ringing impact, a spray of frost, a shockwave of cold so sharp it numbed his bones. He was hurled backward, skidding across the ice. His vision blurred. He tasted blood. Aelira landed in front of him, her feet cracking the stone. She stood crouched, trembling, her breath ragged. Every inhale steamed with unnatural heat. Every exhale froze into drifting shards. Aelira, Rheon gasped, forcing himself to his feet. Fight it, please, fight it. She twitched at the sound of his voice. A flicker, a tiny shard of her old self, glimmered behind her glowing eyes. Then the second heartbeat thundered. Her body contorted, wings snapping up like blades. Her gaze turned predatory. Her voice, when it came, was two layered tones. Rheon, run, let me end him. Her claws lunged. Rheon threw himself aside, just barely, as they sliced through stone, carving a deep gash in the cavern floor. The shards flew upward like jagged snow, slicing his cheek open. He stumbled away. No, he shouted into the storm surrounding her. I won't run. Aelira hissed, a sound too ancient to belong to anything mortal. Her wings swept outward, hurling spears of ice toward him. Rheon dodged one, two, the third pierced his shoulder. He cried out as cold fire tore through his nerves. Still, he stood. Still, he faced her. Aelira, you're stronger than this. I know you can hear me. For a heartbeat, she froze. Her expression twisted, tormented, as though two selves were tearing at each other inside her skin. Rheon, her voice faltered. Her hand reached toward him, fragile, trembling, then jerked violently into a clawed curl. The curse regained control. She lunged again. Rheon met her head on. He caught her wrist, even as the ice tore his palm open, and forced her back with every ounce of strength he had left. Don't, he growled through clenched teeth. Don't make me fight you. Her eyes widened. Pain, terror, hunger. Kill me, she gasped. Before I kill. Her wings snapped open. The blast sent Rheon flying. He crashed into a wall of icy stone. Blood pooled beneath him in a dark halo. His broken blade clattered beside him. Aelira approached slowly, her movements jerking like a marionette guided by a cruel hand. Frost followed in ripples beneath her feet. The frozen king watched in silence from the far side of the cavern, a monument of triumph sculpted in night. Let instinct reign, he commanded. His voice was law. The sovereign must kill its first warmth. Aelira's body lurched forward. She crouched above Rheon, claws rising. Tears, glowing silver, fell from her eyes. Each tear froze before touching the ground. Rheon, her whisper cracked. I'm sorry. He lifted his hand and touched her cheek. Her skin burned him. His fingertips froze instantly. Frost crawled up his wrist. Still, he cupped her face gently. Aelira, he whispered, breath trembling. I'm not afraid of you. She trembled violently. The curse howled inside her, a beast starving for warmth. Her claws pressed toward his throat. He didn't move. If you must kill me, he said softly, then let my last breath remind you who you are. Her entire body jolted, a violent backlash of emotion tearing through her. Her wings flickered, her claws shook, her eyes shuddered between her and the curse. I don't want. Her voice cracked into a sob. I don't want to hurt you. Rheon smiled through blood. You already saved me the day you didn't let me freeze on that mountain. Aelira screamed, not at him, at herself, at the curse, at the fate tearing her soul apart. Her wings slammed shut, not to attack, but to crush the hunger inside her body. For a moment, brief as a heartbeat, she won. Her eyes turned wholly hers. Rheon, she whispered, tears melting the frost on her cheeks. Hold me, please, hold me. He reached for her. Their hands touched, and winter retaliated. A surge of power exploded out of her chest, knocking them apart. The cavern shook violently. The ceiling cracked, snow and shards falling like a collapsing sky. Aelira shrieked as her body convulsed harder than before, as though fighting the transformation had only made it devour her faster. The frozen king stepped forward, towering, merciless. Enough. He slammed his claw into the ground, a shockwave ripping across the cavern. Aelira was thrown backward into the ice lake crater. Rheon was hurled into darkness. And the mountain itself roared. The third trial begins. Chapter 13. The Abyss Where Winter Was Born. The shockwave hurled Rheon into the dark. Stone cracked. Ice shattered. His body struck the cavern wall, and for a brief instant the world collapsed into numbness. When he forced his eyes open, he saw nothing but drifting frost and the echo of Aelira's scream. He pushed himself upright, wheezing. Blood streaked his chest. His palms were flayed open, raw from gripping ice. But he rose anyway. Across the cavern, Aelira had vanished, dragged downward into the chasm where the lake once stood. A bottomless wound carved into the mountain. The frozen king stepped toward the edge and gazed down into the void, a god inspecting his chosen altar. Rheon staggered forward, rage burning through his pain. "Where is she?" he shouted. The king did not turn. "She falls into the abyss of origins." The words lingered like frost on bone. "There, her soul will shed what remains of its mortal shape." Rheon gritted his teeth, taking another step. "She'll die." The king finally looked at him, two pale lights burning from within a helm of obsidian ice. "All mortals die." A pause. "But she is not mortal." Rheon spit blood. "I'm going after her." The cavern trembled as the king's aura thickened. "You will not survive." Rheon met his gaze. His voice was cracked, hoarse, but unbroken. "Then I'll die at her side." Something in the air shifted, a faint crack, like the mountain questioning its master. The frozen king raised his claw. "Then descend, full of warmth. Descend and witness the truth she hides even from herself." He swung his arm. The stone beneath Rheon's feet collapsed. The world dropped out from under him. He fell. The abyss. There was no up or down. No time. No sky. Only drifting flecks of frost that glowed like dying embers. Rheon's body twisted in freefall. His stomach churned. Cold bit into his bones. Then, a blinding flash. His boots slammed onto solid ground. He staggered forward into a world that did not obey nature. The sky was a swirling void, turning on an invisible axis. The ground was a plain of cracked, black ice stretching endlessly outward. Each fracture pulsed with faint blue light, like veins in the skin of a giant corpse. And far ahead, Aelira knelt in the center of the plain. Alone. Rheon's breath hitched. "Aelira." He ran to her. But the closer he came, the deeper the temperature dropped. Frost crept up his legs, weaving into the fabric of his clothes. His skin cracked. Blood froze on his cheek. Still, he kept moving. Aelira trembled violently, her arms wrapped around herself. Her wings had shattered into shards scattered across the ice. Her breath hitched in shallow gasps, each exhale shimmering like moonlight. He kneeled beside her. "Aelira, look at me." She didn't. She was staring straight ahead. At something Rheon hadn't seen. Something enormous. Something waiting in the dark. He followed her gaze. And froze. In the distance stood a colossal figure, taller than mountains, bound in chains of frost that spiraled into the sky. Limbs like broken glaciers. A torso carved from night. A head wreathed in jagged white flame. Only its eyes lived, two enormous voids burning with hollow hunger. Aelira's voice cracked into a whisper. "That is the winter beast." Rheon swallowed hard. "The what?" She wrapped her shaking arms around herself. "The curse, the first winter, the hunger that made the frozen king what he is." Her voice sank lower. "It lives inside me." Rheon's heart lurched. "That thing?" She nodded, tears freezing on her cheeks. "When the king tore the world into seasons, he carved this monster from the coldest night. It has no mind, no mercy, only hunger." Her teeth chattered. "And now, it wants to finish what it began centuries ago." Rheon looked at her sharply. "What does that mean?" Aelira's voice shattered. "It wants my soul." The winter beast stirred. A roar boomed across the plain, shaking the ice. Chains strained. Frost erupted upward in jagged pillars. It leaned forward, a god of extinction rising from its grave. Rheon stepped in front of Aelira instinctively. "It will have to kill me first." Aelira grabbed his arm, panicked. "No, Rheon. Listen." She pointed at the chains. "They are breaking." Rheon's eyes widened. The chains that bound the monster were cracking, thin fractures spreading like lightning. Aelira inhaled sharply. "The third trial," her voice trembled, "is for me to face it. Alone." Rheon shook his head violently. "No, no chance. I'm not leaving you." Her fingers tightened painfully around his wrist. "You don't understand. If you stay, if you interfere, the beast will consume both of us." "I don't care." "I do," she screamed, eyes wide. If you die, I lose the last piece of me that's human. The admission struck him harder than any blow. Aelira, but a roar drowned his voice. The chains snapped. The winter beast rose, towering, monstrous, a cathedral of frost and rage. Its shadow fell over them like the end of a world. The ground split into chasms. Frost tore through the air like knives. Aelira stepped forward. Rheon grabbed her arm desperately. No, no, Aelira, listen to me. She leaned in, her forehead pressed against his. Her breath trembled. Rheon, I'm terrified. He held her face gently. So am I. For a heartbeat, a brief, fragile heartbeat, they existed only in each other's arms. Then the beast roared again. Aelira pulled away. Her wings reformed, cracked, jagged, bleeding light, but still wings. She faced the monster. Her voice was soft, but unshakable. This is my curse, my sin, my inheritance. She looked at Rheon one last time. And I swear to you, I will come back. Then she launched into the air, rising into the swirling dark. Rheon screamed after her, Aelira. But she did not turn. She flew toward the winter beast, a small, burning spark racing toward a god of endless night. And the third trial began. Chapter 14, The Monster That Wears Her Shadow. The moment Aelira rose toward the winter beast, the abyss answered. Winds howled from every direction, spiraling into a vortex that bent the sky. Frost split the ground beneath Rheon's feet. The air became thin, metallic, like breathing inside a dying star. The beast straightened, towering so high its horns scraped the roiling void above. Chains shattered completely. A sound like the heart of a glacier being split echoed across the plain. The temperature plunged. Even light seemed to freeze. Aelira hovered before it, small, fragile, luminous. Her wings beat once. A shockwave spiraled outward. She summoned blades of ice, thin as needles, sharp as gilt, and hurled them at the monster. They shattered against its hide. The winter beast laughed, not with a voice, with its presence. A seismic vibration shook Rheon's bones, rattling the thought of hope from his skull. Aelira flinched, but she did not retreat. Her eyes glowed with fierce defiance as she soared upward, leaving a trail of silver-blue light in her wake. She dove with both hands outstretched, forming a spear of pure frost between her palms. The spear struck the beast's chest. For a heartbeat, a single, fragile heartbeat, the monster staggered. Cracks spidered across its armor of black ice. Aelira gasped, the smallest flicker of victory breaking across her face. Then the beast leaned down. And the cracks sealed. You carry a child's strength. The abyss shook under the weight of its voice. Aelira's wings faltered. The beast swung one colossal arm. Rheon barely had time to scream her name. The blow struck her like a fallen star. Her body whipped across the plain, trailing frost and bloodlight. She crashed into the ice far beyond Rheon, a burst of white energy exploding from the impact crater. Aelira. Rheon sprinted toward her. Every step burned with agony. His legs cracked under the cold. His lungs shrieked in pain. But he did not stop. He found her lying in the crater, gasping, pain etched across her face. Blood, silver and luminous, spread across the black ice beneath her. Her wings quivered violently, half shattered. Rheon, she whispered, stay back, please. He dropped beside her and pulled her into his arms. She tried to push him away, but her strength had already begun to bleed out. You can't be near me, she rasped. While the beast is awake, the curse is awake. It will use me. It will. He pressed his forehead to hers. I won't leave you. A tear slipped down her cheek. That single tear froze halfway down her skin. The winter beast stepped forward, its massive feet cracking the plain, each step a small apocalypse. Its hollow voice dripped contempt. The warmth returns to her heart. A pause, cold, ancient. Good. I shall rip it out. Aelira convulsed. Her wings lurched violently. Her hand seized around Rheon's wrist, fingers tightening with unnatural force. Her eyes rolled back. Her breath deepened. Her second heartbeat roared. No, 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 she gasped. Rheon, run. But Rheon did not move. He only tightened his grip on her. And whispered, you don't fight alone. She broke. Violently. Her body twisted, spine arching upward as frost erupted from her ribs. White flame shot from her mouth in a silent scream. Her wings spread wide, bigger, sharper, shaking the air. Rheon was thrown back by the blast of power. He crashed into the ice, coughing blood, vision blurred. When he looked up, Aelira was rising, but not like herself. Her silhouette elongated, hair lifted like a halo of frostfire. Her bones glowed beneath her skin. Her expression hollowed into a face touched by something godlike and terrible. The winter beast rumbled with dark delight. At last, Aelira lifted her head. Her eyes were gone, replaced by two burning white orbs. Her voice tore from her throat, layered and inhuman. "Do not interfere, Rheon." She turned toward the beast and charged. Her speed blurred. She hammered into its chest with both fists, sending shockwaves rippling through the plain. Ice erupted upward like pillars of glass. The monster staggered, not from pain, but from surprise. Aelira spun, slicing across its knee with a wing blade. Frozen blood sprayed like falling starlight. The beast snarled. "Yes, yes, become what you are." It grabbed her mid-flight and hurled her to the ground. The impact split the plane. Aelira exploded upward immediately, striking its jaw, the blow powerful enough to fracture ancient bone. Her voice bellowed. "I am not your shadow." The beast swung. She blocked with both wings, the collision blasting a vertical storm into the sky. Rheon watched in horrified awe. Aelira, delicate, gentle Aelira, was fighting a god. But she wasn't winning. Her blows became erratic. Her eyes flickered between white and blue. Her form shuddered, dissolving and reforming in pulses. Rheon staggered forward. Aelira, her head whipped toward him. The curse seized her face, twisting it into a snarl. She launched at him. He didn't dodge. He held his arms open. Her claws stopped 1 inch from his throat, hands shaking violently. Her eyes flickered again, blue flooding back for a fragile instant. Her voice cracked. "Rheon, please, don't let me." The beast roared. "Kill him." Aelira shrieked in agony, clutching her head, wings thrashing like a trapped angel. Rheon grabbed her, held her, even as her claws dug into his back. Even as blood ran in warm rivers. Even as her power flayed the ice around them. He held her, because she needed him to. "Aelira, listen to me," he gasped through pain. "You are not this thing." Her body convulsed so hard it nearly tore apart. "You are not his." Her claws retracted. Her breathing slowed. "You are Aelira." Her eyes, blue, trembling, wet, focused on him. "Rheon," he pressed his forehead to hers. "I'm here." And this time, the winter beast screamed. The sound shattered the sky. The chains reformed around its limbs, binding it, dragging it downward. Aelira's power raged, then softened, then flickered out. She collapsed into Rheon's arms, unconscious. The winter beast sank into the ice, howling. "This is not the end." The abyss trembled. Cracks spread. Light fractured. Rheon held her close, choking on relief and fear. And above them, high above, the frozen king whispered through the falling frost. "The fourth trial begins, now." Chapter 15. The snow that falls inside the soul. The abyss screamed, not with sound, with fractures. Shards of light split the sky, jagged and violent. The ground shook as if a giant's heartbeat echoed beneath the ice. Fissures tore across the plain, spiraling outward from the spot where the winter beast sank back into the dark. Rheon held Aelira against him. Her body had gone limp. Her wings crumbled into frost, drifting away like dying fireflies. Her breath was shallow, barely there, and a thin mist of silver hovered above her lips. Too thin, too faint. He felt her heart. He felt both of them. One beat weakly. The other did not sound like a heartbeat at all. It pulsed like a distant drum in a battlefield of gods. "Aelira," Rheon whispered, voice cracking, "stay with me. Please." Her head rolled against his shoulder. She did not answer. Above them, the sky of the abyss began to contract, folding inward, a collapsing wound in reality. Rheon tightened his grip on her. "I'm getting you out." He rose to his feet, legs trembling, carrying her. As the ground convulsed beneath him, he staggered forward, heading toward the faint outline of the rift he fell through. But a shadow fell across him. A presence colder than the abyss itself. Rheon turned. The frozen king stood tall on the black ice, his enormous frame outlined by collapsing light. Frost coiled around his armor like living serpents. His voice split the air. "The third trial is over." Rheon snarled. "You bastard. You almost killed her." The king tilted his head. "That is the purpose." Rheon's jaw tightened. He shifted Aelira in his arms, shielding her. "What do you want from her? Why force her into this?" The king stepped forward, each footstep cracking the ground. "Winter demands a vessel." A pause. "Winter demands a heart." Rheon spat blood. "She already has a heart." The king's pale gaze lowered to the unconscious girl. "Yes." A rumble like grinding glaciers. "One that must be hollowed." Rheon drew the shard of his broken sword with his free hand. "I swear," he said quietly, "if you touch her again, I will cut you down." It was madness. It was suicide. But it was truth. The frozen king regarded him for a long moment. Then, He laughed, not a booming, triumphant laugh. A quiet one, soft, old, a sound like winter remembering grief. You do not understand. His voice rolled across the dying abyss like a prophecy. You are the fourth trial. Rheon froze. What? The king lifted a clawed hand. A curl of black frost spiraled outward, encircling Rheon and Aelira. She must choose. Choose what? The king's pale eyes burned brighter. Between you and winter. Rheon's lungs tightened. No, he whispered. No, that's not a choice. It is. The abyss cracked open beneath them, a vast chasm glowing with pale blue fire. Rheon held Aelira closer. What are you trying to force her into? The king lowered his gaze, a strange flicker of something like sorrow passing through those hollow lights. The winter you see now is a shadow of what once was. Once, winter was a god. And that god had a heart. Rheon swallowed hard. And now? The king's voice dropped to a whisper. She is that heart. Rheon felt numb. Aelira's fingers twitched weakly against his chest. No, no, this wasn't fate. This wasn't destiny. No one should bear this alone. Rheon stepped backward, toward the faint glow that marked the way out. I'm taking her out of here, he growled. Try to stop me. The king did not raise a hand. Instead, he spoke. Soft, final, cruel. If she leaves now, she dies. Rheon stiffened. What? The winter beast tore her soul. Her mortal heart bleeds into the cold. Only the sovereign's mantle can mend her. The monster's gaze sharpened. She must finish the trials. Or she will fade from your arms before you reach the surface. Rheon looked down at Aelira. Her breath trembled. A faint layer of frost was forming over her eyelashes. Her pulse flickered like a dying ember. No, he whispered. Don't you dare. The king continued. The fourth trial is choice. The fifth is acceptance. The sixth is rebirth. Rheon's grip tightened around her. And if she refuses? The king answered with a single word. Extinction. The abyss roared as if agreeing. Rheon's vision blurred. He pressed his forehead against Aelira's. Don't leave me, he whispered, voice breaking. Don't leave me, please. A weak breath escaped her. For a moment, just one, her eyes opened. Barely. Rheon. Her voice was thin as mist. Don't cry. He hadn't realized he was. Her hand brushed his cheek, trembling. I'm not gone yet. A tear, warm, fell onto their joined hands. And then she slipped back into unconsciousness. The abyss cracked. The king raised his hand, pointing toward the darkness. Carry her deeper, to the chamber of thawing. There she will face the fourth trial, and decide whether she lives, or becomes my throne. Rheon looked at the abyssal stairway unfolding before him. A path carved from broken starlight, spiraling into deeper dark. His heart hammered. He adjusted Aelira in his arms. He stepped forward. Then I'll go through every trial with her. The king watched him wordlessly as he descended. And as Rheon carried Aelira deeper into the mountain's heart, frost whispered around them. Soft, almost tender. Love makes a poor shield, human. Rheon answered without looking back. It's the only shield she has. And the abyss swallowed them whole. Chapter 16. The chamber where hearts are unmade. Rheon did not know how long he descended. Minutes. Hours. An eternity measured by the weight of a girl in his arms. The abyssal stairway spiraled downward through a darkness so vast it swallowed sound. The only light came from faint silver motes drifting around him, soft, floating, cold, like the souls of snowflakes that never reached the ground. Aelira's breath was weakening. He felt it, every exhale thinner, every inhale slower. Her skin was turning pale, paler than ice, paler than death, as if her blood itself were freezing from within. Aelira, he whispered, brushing her hair from her face. Hold on. The stairs ended abruptly. Before him lay a cavern unlike any other, a cathedral carved by gods who hated the world. The chamber of thawing. The air shimmered with white fire. Columns of frost twisted like serpents, spiraling upward to vanish into darkness. At the center lay a pool, not water, not ice, but something between the two. Its surface glowed with soft luminescence, pulsing in a rhythm that did not belong to the living. Rheon stepped forward cautiously. What is this place? The frozen king's voice slithered across the chamber from nowhere and everywhere. The place where winter steals or returns its claim. Rheon bared his teeth. You again. I do not intrude. This is her trial, not mine. Rheon looked at the pool. Light drifted off its surface, shapes, faces, memories. He saw children laughing, a village in spring bloom, a woman with hair like rain. Then the same images twisted, children crying in snow, the village entombed under frost, the woman screaming as ice engulfed her chest. Aelira stirred weakly in his arms. Her lips parted. Not again? Rheon clutched her tighter. What do I do? Place her in the pool. Rheon turned toward the disembodied voice. And what happens then? She dreams. Dreams what? The truth. Or the lie she wants to believe. Rheon growled. That's not an answer. It is the only one you get. The cavern fell silent. Rheon stepped toward the glowing pool, heart pounding like a war drum. Aelira, he whispered. I'm right here. He slowly lowered her into the water. The moment her body touched it, light exploded outward. The chamber vanished. Aelira's dreamscape. She awoke in snow, but not the snow of the mountain. This snow was soft, silent, almost warm. She pushed herself upright. Her breath didn't fog. Her wings were gone. She stood in a quiet meadow under a sky filled with falling white petals, not snowflakes. Petals, delicate as memories. Birds chirped. A stream murmured nearby. Sunlight, real sunlight, bathed the world in gold. Her heart clenched. No, this can't be real. But the wind carried a familiar voice. Aelira. She turned. Her knees almost gave out. A woman approached. Hair dark and gentle, eyes soft with warmth, lips curved in a smile Aelira had not seen since childhood. Mother. The woman opened her arms. You've come home. Aelira ran into her embrace. Her mother's arms wrapped around her, warm, loving, safe, everything Aelira thought she'd lost. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she clung to her mother's dress, shaking. I'm so tired, Aelira whispered. So tired of hurting everyone I love. Her mother stroked her hair. Then stay here, she murmured. Stay where winter can't reach you. Aelira sobbed. Is this real? Her mother cupped her cheek. Does it matter? You're safe. Aelira leaned into the touch. But then, the warmth in her mother's hand turned cold. Aelira blinked. Her mother's smile stiffened. Her eyes lost color. Her skin began to crack like porcelain. Aelira stepped back. Mother. Cracks spread across the woman's face. Her voice twisted, warped, low, ancient. Stay, Aelira. The illusion shattered. The meadow dissolved. A blizzard erupted from nowhere. Aelira fell to her knees. No, please. I can't. Snow swallowed her. Rheon's trial. Rheon watched Aelira sink beneath the pool's surface, her body growing still, her heartbeat barely perceptible. Aelira. He plunged his arms in after her, trying to pull her back, but the pool burned him, not with heat, with cold so absolute it blistered his skin. He yanked back, crying out. The frozen king whispered. Touch her again and you will die. Rheon's breath trembled. So I'm supposed to wait? To do nothing? No. Cold laughter. You will face your own trial. The chamber darkened. Snow rose like a fog. Shapes formed around him, familiar shapes. Faces he thought he'd buried. His brother, his father, his fallen comrades. All dead, all staring, accusing. Why did you survive, Rheon? Why did she choose you? Why do you think you can save her? Rheon clenched his fists. Shut up. His voice cracked. Shut up. The illusion stepped forward, overlapping into a monstrous shape, a towering figure with dozens of faces, all twisted by sorrow. It reached for him. Rheon roared, leaping forward with nothing but his broken blade shard. I don't need saving. He drove the steel into the monster's chest. I save her. The illusion exploded into frost. Rheon fell to his knees, shaking. Then he looked at the pool. Aelira, he pressed his forehead to the frozen rim. Come back to me, please. Find your way back. Aelira, beneath the ice. Her dreams shattered. She found herself suspended underwater, dark, cold, silent, not breathing, not dying, just drifting. A faint light glowed beneath her. She swam toward it. As she approached, she saw herself lying curled at the bottom of the abyss, eyes closed, heart flickering like a dying ember. A voice whispered behind her. Do you understand now? She turned, a towering silhouette of frost. Her own reflection, the future she feared. You cannot remain both girl and monster. Aelira clenched her fists. Her voice echoed through the silence. I don't want to be a monster. Her reflection tilted its head. Then you must choose what dies. Aelira trembled. Choose. Between what? The reflection smiled, a sorrowful, terrible smile. Between your heart and his. The pool churned. The chamber shook. Aelira gasped. No, no, I won't. But the reflection dissolved into frost and whispered one final truth. Your love is the final trial. Aelira's body jolted beneath the water. Her eyes snapped open. Her heart, both hearts, began to beat. Hard. Rheon felt it. He rose to his feet, breath trembling. Aelira, the pool glowed blinding white. Something was returning, but whether it was Aelira or the sovereign winter, he did not know. Chapter 17. What rises from the cold? The pool erupted. Light speared upward, white, blinding, violent, as if the heart of the mountain split open. The chamber of thawing trembled, frost spiraling in frantic spirals along its stone ribs. Rheon staggered backward, arm raised against the glare. Aelira. The voice that answered him was not hers. It was the sound of winter screaming. A shape rose from the glowing pool, slow at first, like a corpse dragged from the deep. Then quicker, as if something behind it was pushing it out. The water burst in a shockwave. Rheon was thrown to the ground. He forced himself up, coughing, blood running down his chin. His gaze lifted, and froze. Aelira hovered above the pool. Not standing, not supported, hovering, her body wrapped in spirals of pale frost fire, hair floating upward as if she were underwater. Her limbs trembled with power barely contained. Lines of glowing blue traced every vein beneath her skin, pulsing in a rhythm that didn't match a mortal heart. Her eyes opened. Rheon's breath caught. One eye was hers, soft blue, filled with pain. The other glowed white, empty, ancient, bottomless. A voice whispered behind him, "She has returned." The frozen king stood at the chamber's rim, unmoving, a silent witness to rebirth. Rheon stumbled to his feet. "Aelira, Aelira, can you hear me?" Her head turned toward him. Slowly, too slowly, her lips parted. "Rheon." The sound fractured halfway through. The white eye flickered with a harsh pulse. Rheon stepped closer. "Don't talk, you're hurt. Let me help you." Her arm jerked upward. Rheon froze. Her fingers curled like talons. "Don't," she rasped. Her voice was layered, two tones overlapping, twisting. "Don't come closer?" Rheon ignored her warning. He always did. He took a step. "Aelira, look at me." Her breath hitched. Her body twitched violently. She clutched her head with both hands as if trying to tear something out. "Rheon, I don't know if I'm me right now." The frozen king's voice echoed. "The fourth trial is balance." Aelira's wings burst into existence. Not ice this time. Light, white fire shaped like wings, vast and terrible, unfolded from her back. The chamber turned silver with their glow. Rheon shielded his face. "Aelira." She opened her eyes. Both glowed white now. The chamber dimmed around her as if yielding to a newborn god. She whispered, "I remember everything." Rheon took a cautious step forward. "What do you remember?" Her expression twisted. "Pain, grief, horror. Every life the winter took. Every death caused by the curse born inside me. Every scream buried under snow." Her voice cracked. "It was me, not the beast, not the king. Me." Rheon's throat tightened. "That's not true. It wasn't your choice." Her head snapped toward him. "Choice?" Her laugh was sharp, broken. "Do you think the snow asked the sun before killing it?" Rheon's steps faltered. Her wings expanded, flooding the chamber with cold luminescence. The king watched silently. Aelira's voice softened, dangerously calm. "I can feel everything, Rheon. Every thought, every heartbeat, every fear." Her feet touched the ground. The frost beneath her burned. She walked toward him as if guided by a force older than the world. Rheon tightened his grip on his broken blade. "Aelira, don't come closer until you're..." She appeared in front of him in an instant. Too fast, too inhuman. Her face inches from his. Her cold breath on his lips. Her eyes, glowing with a divinity meant only for destruction, stared into him. And she whispered, "Tell me you do not fear me." Rheon's heart pounded. He saw death in her gaze. Saw eternity. Saw the unfathomable void that was winter made sentient. He swallowed hard. "I'm not afraid." The white light flickered. She pressed closer. "Liar." He shook his head. "I fear losing you." The words struck her harder than any weapon. Her wings trembled. The glow around her flickered violently. She stepped back as if burned. "No, no, I can't." The frozen king's voice slithered through the chamber. "You feel warmth." Aelira froze. The king stepped forward. "That warmth is what has kept you tethered to mortality." Rheon moved between them. "Don't you dare." The king continued, unfazed. "The fourth trial tests whether she can keep that warmth, or extinguish it." Aelira clutched her chest. Her dual heartbeat boomed through the chamber. One heart pounding for life. The other pulsing for winter. Her wings curled inward. Her voice trembled. "Rheon, I can feel the curse wanting to kill you." He stepped closer. "Let it try." "No," she cried. Her power surged, blasting him backward, slamming him into a column of ice. She screamed as if stabbed. "I don't want to hurt you." He rose, coughing. "Then don't push me away." She shook violently. "You don't understand, Rheon. If I choose winter, I live. If I choose you, I die." Rheon froze. The chamber pulsed with silence. Aelira sobbed, collapsing to her knees. I don't want to die. I want. She looked up at him with eyes full of terror. Why did I meet you? He knelt in front of her, cupping her face with trembling hands. So you would learn you're worth saving. Her lips parted, her eyes softened, then the white glow surged violently. She choked, a strangled scream, as her body convulsed. Her wings exploded outward, a cyclone of frostfire swallowed the chamber. The frozen king raised his claws. The fourth trial has begun. Aelira rose into the air, thrashing against the force tearing through her soul. Her voice split the chamber. Rheon, run, before I. Rheon didn't move. He walked straight toward the storm. Straight toward her. Straight into the maw of winter. And Aelira screamed his name, as the part of her that loved him and the part of her born to kill him finally collided. Chapter 18. The Wings That Devour Light. The moment Rheon stepped into the storm, it tore the breath from his lungs. Frostfire slammed against him, not cold, not heat, something between the two. Something unnatural, something that burned and froze the soul at once. He shielded his eyes and pushed forward. Aelira, he could barely see her. Her body was suspended at the storm's center, contorting violently. Wings of light, now jagged like broken halos, lashed outward in chaotic arcs. Her hair whipped in every direction, glowing like molten silver. Her screams twisted, human one moment, inhuman the next. Get back, she shrieked. Get back. Rheon kept walking. The storm shredded his clothes. His skin split open under invisible blades. Blood froze on his arms as soon as it left the wound. But he walked. Toward her. Toward the creature she was becoming. Toward the truth that would break them both. The transformation. Aelira's form twisted, spine arching unnaturally. Her hands elongated into crystalline claws. Her legs thinned and sharpened, joints cracking as if carved anew. Her face blurred between beauty and monstrosity, eyes glowing pure white, teeth sharpening into frost. Her voice layered into 1,000 whispers. I don't want this. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to kill. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. The storm answered with a shriek. Wings burst from her back, huge, shimmering, merciless. Each beat sent shockwaves across the chamber, cracking columns, shattering stone. The frozen king observed, unmoving, from the shadows. The winter sovereign emerges when a heart breaks. When love becomes pain, and pain becomes power. Rheon snarled at him. Shut up. But the king only watched Aelira. Only watched what she was losing. Or becoming. The strike. Aelira's wings snapped forward. A spear of frost shot through the air, faster than lightning, sharper than truth, heading straight for Rheon's heart. He barely dodged. The spear carved through the stone behind him, splitting it like soft bread. Rheon stumbled, coughing blood. Aelira, stop, but she didn't hear him. Or she heard, and the monster inside her answered instead. She dove. Her claws tore across his chest, not enough to kill him, but enough to send him crashing onto his back. His vision blurred. Her shadow fell over him, towering, terrible, shaking with both fear and hunger. Her voice cracked apart. Please, run, while I still remember who you are. Rheon pushed himself upright, bleeding, shaking. I'm not running, she screamed, the sound fractured the chamber walls. Her hand shot toward his throat. He didn't dodge. He caught her wrist. The impact nearly shattered his bones. But he held on, with everything he was. Her white eyes widened. Her claws trembled an inch from his jugular. Rheon, I can't stop it. I can't. You don't have to, he whispered. Just fight with me. Her wings convulsed violently. She shrieked, pulling back, slashing at the air. No, 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 you don't understand. The curse doesn't want to kill you. It wants to take you. Rheon froze. Take me? Her body jerked, seized by a force inside her. Her voice twisted, deeper. To complete the winter heart, it needs the soul you cherish most. Rheon's blood ran cold. Me, he whispered. Aelira nodded weakly. Tears, white, glowing, slid down her cheeks. I don't want it. I don't want you to disappear inside me. I don't want to become something that devours you. Rheon stepped forward. She stepped back, as if her own shadow terrified her. Rheon, stay back. If you touch me, the curse will mark you. He didn't stop. It already has, he said softly. In every way that matters. She sobbed, then screamed, and the curse surged. The monster emerges. Her wings expanded, terrifying, beautiful, divine. The chamber darkened. Light poured from every crack of her skin. Her outline blurred into something otherworldly. A silhouette that was hers, and not hers, and infinitely older than both. The frozen king whispered. Now, she stands on the precipice. Rheon ignored him. He reached for her again, bleeding, shaking, unarmed. But Aelira thrust her hand out. A shockwave erupted, a wall of white flame, smashing Rheon across the chamber. He struck the stone and fell to one knee, coughing violently. Blood dripped from his mouth. Aelira fell to her knees as well, clutching her head. Rheon, I'm losing myself. It's taking me. Please, stop me before I. Rheon stood and walked, slowly, painfully, step by step, toward her. Aelira screamed, don't come any closer. He didn't stop. Rheon, please, I won't be able to hold back anymore. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to consume you. He reached her, kneeling, face inches from hers. He cupped her trembling cheeks between his bloody palms. Her glowing eyes widened. Her body stopped thrashing, just for a breath. Aelira, he whispered, you won't lose yourself. Not while I'm holding you. Her lips parted. A small, broken sound escaped. Then, snap, the curse seized control. Her wings flared open in a burst of blinding white fire. Her mouth opened in an inhuman cry. Her hands closed around his throat. The chamber shook. The frozen king whispered, pleased, the fifth trial begins. And Aelira, half goddess, half curse, lifted Rheon into the air by the throat, torn between killing him and begging him to save her. Chapter 19. The Heart That Must Break. Rheon's vision blurred the instant Aelira's hands locked around his throat. Her fingers were no longer fingers, they were talons of white ice, glowing faintly, trembling with the force of two wills tearing at each other inside them. He felt the cold first. A cold so deep it bypassed skin and bone, diving straight into the soul. Then he felt the pressure. His breath stopped. His ribs ached. His feet lifted off the ground. Aelira hoisted him upward as though gravity had ceased to care. Her wings of pure frost fire unfurled behind her, casting the entire chamber in a blinding radiance. The air pulsed with power, hers, but not hers. Her face twisted with anguish. Her white eyes were oceans of terror. Rheon. Her voice leaked out in broken syllables. Please, run. But her fingers tightened. Rheon clawed at her wrists, not to break free. He knew he couldn't, but to touch her, just to let her know he was still there. Aelira, he rasped. The room dimmed. His heartbeat slowed. The world shrank to the circle of her arms, strangling the life from him. Inside Aelira, her mind was a battlefield. She saw herself strangling him. She felt the warmth crying beneath her hands. She felt the pulse inside his throat, a pulse she remembered falling asleep to, leaning against under moonlit nights. And the curse whispered, this pulse belongs to winter. Take it, make him part of you forever. Her soul recoiled. No, and no. The curse surged. Her wings flared, becoming jagged and monstrous. Her grip tightened. Rheon's body jerked. A gasp escaped him, small, strangled, fading. Aelira screamed inside her mind. Stop, I don't want this. The curse answered, then die. Her heart lurched violently. Her knees buckled. For a moment, a single impossible moment, she broke through. Her left eye flickered blue. Her fingers loosened by one trembling inch. Rheon, she whispered, panicked. I can't stop it. I'm killing you. I'm killing. Rheon smiled faintly, despite the blood on his lips. You're not. His vision collapsed into darkness at the edges. Her grip tightened again, uncontrolled, possessed. Rheon's noises were small, wet, choking. Aelira sobbed, but her wings extended, vibrating with power. The curse had taken almost all of her now. The frozen king watched silently from the far edge of the chamber, as though observing a ritual he had seen 1,000 times. Let it happen, he said. Let the winter heart claim what binds her to mortality. Aelira screamed. No. Rheon's near death. Darkness crawled through Rheon's veins. A ringing filled his ears. A cold numbness spread through his limbs. He felt himself slipping, falling, losing the thread that tied him to her. Still, he reached for her face. His fingers brushed her cheek, weakly, barely. But it was enough. Her breath caught. Her eyes widened. This warmth? Her voice trembled with awe and horror. It's still reaching for me, even while I kill. Her wings faltered. Her grip loosened. For 1 second, Rheon inhaled. A shuddering, broken, desperate breath. Aelira, he whispered, I'm not letting you face this alone. Those words, soft, cracked, dying, pierced deeper than any blade. Aelira convulsed. The curse screamed, surging inside her like an ocean rising to drown her heartbeat. He must die for you to live. Her head snapped back. Light exploded from her chest. Rheon was thrown across the chamber, slamming into a wall hard enough to fracture stone. He fell to the ground, limp, unmoving. Blood pooled beneath him. Aelira fell to her knees, clutching her face with both hands. No, 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 Rheon, please. She crawled to him, dragging her broken wings. Her fingers shook violently as she touched his cheek. His skin was cold, too cold. Aelira, the frozen king whispered, the winter heart has its price. Aelira's breaths came in shattered sobs. Bring him back. Her voice broke. Please, bring him back. The king said nothing, because he didn't need to. The truth was already unfolding before her. Rheon's blood, warm, red, mortal, began to glow faintly. The veins along his throat flickered with blue light. Aelira choked. No, no, no. The king's voice echoed like judgment. The curse has marked him. Aelira grabbed Rheon and pulled him into her arms, sobbing into his hair. Take me instead, she screamed. Take anything, take everything, just give him back. The king watched, unblinking. He is becoming winter. Aelira screamed into the darkness. No. Her wings exploded outward. The chamber shook. The mountain above trembled, and Aelira pressed her forehead to Rheon's, white light pouring from her eyes, as she desperately tried to warm the soul now freezing inside him. Chapter 20. The Snowfall Between Two Souls. Rheon felt himself sinking, not falling, not dying, just sinking, into cold. A cold that had no source, no shape, a cold that felt like memory erasing itself. He opened his eyes, but there was no world to see. Only white, white that was not light, white that was not snow, white that was not anything. He tried to breathe. There was no breath. He tried to speak. There was no voice. He tried to move. There was no body. Something inside him whispered, so this is where winter takes its prey. The voice was his, and not his. A shadow formed in the white. Tall, human-shaped, dark as a moonless night. It stepped toward him. When it spoke, it used his voice perfectly. She chose you. That was her first mistake. Rheon tried to shout back, but the white swallowed every word. The shadow mirror smiled. You think love protects you? It reached forward and pressed a hand into Rheon's chest, and for the first time, Rheon felt pain. A clawing, freezing pain that reached into the deepest part of him. Love is what made you vulnerable. The shadow leaned close, and that vulnerability is how winter enters. Aelira in the chamber. In the real world, Aelira held Rheon's limp body in her arms. Her hands shook violently, frost forming around her fingers. Aelira, the frozen king murmured, you cannot reach him. She bared her teeth, a sound not human. If winter has taken him, she hissed, then I will tear winter apart. Her wings unfurled, massive, trembling, glowing white. She lifted Rheon's head, pressing her forehead to his. I'm coming for you, she whispered. Don't you dare let go. Light exploded from her. The chamber of thawing shattered, a world breaking open, as Aelira threw her soul into the abyss where Rheon was dying. Inside Rheon's soul, Rheon staggered backward as new shapes emerged from the white void. Dozens, hundreds, all versions of him. A child crying in snow. A young warrior burying fallen comrades. A man climbing a frozen peak searching for a legend. A lover kneeling before a dying girl. All of them wearing his face. All of them distorted. All of them whispering, you can't save her. You are not enough. You will die here. She will become winter. And she will forget you. Rheon clutched his head. Stop. They didn't. They closed in. Shadows with his face. Voices with his doubt. Hands reaching for him, cold, clawed, endless. Let us take your warmth, Rheon. Let us take what she cannot keep. He fell to his knees. He screamed, but the white swallowed the sound. He felt himself dissolving, piece by piece, memory by memory, until only cold remained. Aelira arrives. A shockwave tore through the void. The shadows scattered. The white twisted and warped, spiraling into a vortex of ice and light. Aelira descended into his dying soul, wreathed in frostfire, wings of light beating through the emptiness. Her voice carried through every corner of the void. Rheon. The shadows recoiled. Rheon looked up, eyes wide, disbelieving. Aelira? She landed in front of him. Hair swirling like silver flame. Eyes glowing with equal parts terror and love. She kneeled and cupped his face. You idiot, she whispered, voice breaking. You weren't supposed to let go this easily. Rheon shuddered. You came into this place? I will follow you into every abyss, she said. Even the ones inside you. He reached up, touching her wrist with trembling fingers. You're warm. She shook her head. No, that warmth is yours. He tried to speak, but the shadows surged around them. A single voice rose above the others, a voice that wasn't Rheon's anymore. A deep, ancient, icy tone. He belongs to winter now. Aelira stood, dragging Rheon behind her, shielding him with her wings. She glared into the void. No, no, he doesn't. The shadows laughed. He does. Because you marked him. Aelira froze. Her breath stopped. Rheon blinked. What? The voice grew louder, the white swirling into the shape of an enormous, monstrous eye. You touched him while the curse was awake. You held him as it bloomed. You let your heart reach for his. Aelira backed up, trembling. No, no, that's not. It is done. The shadows surged. He is bound to winter by you. Rheon felt the truth slam into him like a blade. His veins glowing blue, his heartbeat pulsing with unnatural rhythm, his soul flickering with frost. He staggered. Aelira, what did we do? Her wings collapsed around them both. Tears, bright white, streamed from her eyes. I tried to save you, she whispered. The voice boomed. And in doing so, you doomed him. Aelira screamed in agony. Rheon held her, even as his body flickered like a dying star. Aelira, look at me. She lifted her face, broken. I'm sorry, she cried. I didn't want this. I didn't want to curse you. Rheon pulled her closer. You didn't curse me. You saved me. The shadows howled. Cracks spread through the void. The monstrous eye widened. Then you will fall together. The world shattered. Light detonated around them. Aelira clutched Rheon as the void collapsed into icy darkness. And the winter heart began to beat inside them both.